Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. When you love someone who has, well, really walked through the fire in life, you aren't just dating a person. You are stepping into the garden of a deeply resilient soul. And loving a survivor, it's a lot like cultivating beautiful but uniquely complex flora. They've got this quiet strength and this profound empathy that can literally make you feel like you've finally found your person. But that journey definitely comes with a unique set of unspoken rules.
So, have you ever found yourself just completely confused by your partner's sudden need for space? Or maybe you've wondered why they flinch at things that don't even register on your radar? If you're feeling that friction, listen. You need to know right off the bat you are not alone in this, and you absolutely cannot take these behaviors personally. What you're actually witnessing? Those are survival instincts kicking in.
You see, individuals who have endured significant past hardships just don't come with a standard user manual. Instead, they have a highly complex emotional operating system. So, today, we're going to act as your translator. We are going to decode those trauma responses and show you exactly how to translate them into what they actually are, which are deep, unspoken needs for love and safety. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We are going to cover the resilient partner soul, why solitude is not rejection, speaking the empathy language, sanctuary, trust and independence, hidden struggles and fierce justice, and finally, honoring them in yourself.
All right, starting off with section 1, the resilient partner's soul. Before we even get into the challenges, we really have to acknowledge the absolute magic of finding a person like this. I mean, their depth of character didn't just appear out of nowhere, right? It was forged in the fires of resilience. Now, that brings incredible warmth to a relationship, but it also fundamentally changes how they process the world around them. I want you to think of their emotional energy kind of like a smartphone battery. Social interaction, even with the people they love the most, can drain that battery incredibly fast. Because in a world that once felt entirely unstable and chaotic to them, their peace and their energy reserves are absolutely sacred. So when they step back, they aren't withdrawing from you, they're simply recharging.
Moving on to section 2, solitude is not rejection. And this brilliantly illustrates what is arguably the very first major hurdle partners face. It is just so incredibly easy to feel shut out or rejected when your resilient partner suddenly retreats into themselves. But as trauma therapist Bessel van der Kolk explains in his landmark book, The Body Keeps the Score, trauma lives in the body, and quiet solitude is often a way to regulate a nervous system that's on constant alert. When they're alone, they aren't avoiding you. Actually, scratch that. It's more like they are regulating a system that has been stuck in this exhausting state of high alert. Their alone time is vital biological self-care. It's for sure not a reflection of their feelings for you. So, how do we actually handle this? Well, your instinctive reaction is probably to ask, what's wrong? Over and over again. But honestly, that just creates pressure. Instead, try pivoting to a supportive reaction. Try saying, take all the time you need. I'm here. Giving them this concrete, unpressured space communicates a really profound level of trust. You're basically telling them that you see their need for what it is, and you respect it. Section 3. Speaking the empathy language. A resilient partner has an emotional radar that is highly, almost impossibly tuned in. I mean, they will easily detect subtle shifts in your posture or a tiny quiver in your voice that you didn't even know was there. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. It's a state of heightened sensitivity to the environment born from a past where danger was a very real possibility. Think about the character Tanjiro from the anime Demon Slayer. His ability to literally smell emotions. It isn't just some cool fantasy power. It's a perfect metaphor for this kind of deep-seated empathy. Your partner has a real-world radar for sensing pain and discomfort in the room. And because their radar is so unbelievably accurate, hiding your discomfort actually backfires. Instinctively saying I'm fine when you are clearly not makes them feel like they're going crazy. Their warning systems are flashing red, but you're telling them nothing is wrong. Instead, just be honest. Say, I'm a little stressed, thanks for noticing. Validating what they perceive reassures them that they aren't being too sensitive. They are just incredibly attuned to you. All right, section 4, sanctuary, trust, and independence. This is the part where you, as a partner, must learn how to handle their deep pain and their heavily guarded heart without accidentally triggering their defenses. And I really want to let this sink in. They don't need a savior. They need a sanctuary. Look, when you love someone who is hurting, your first instinct is to fix it, right? But their pain is a part of their story.
Remember that really powerful scene in the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit? When Beth Harmon is alone and shaking after a tournament, her friend Benny doesn't burst in with all these solutions. He just sits in the quiet and bears witness. You need to be that safe harbor. Your calm presence is infinitely more powerful than any advice you could ever give. Because of early experiences of betrayal or instability, which often create avoidant or anxious attachment styles, by the way, their trust is a calculated risk. You do not win their trust with massive, dramatic, grand gestures. No way. You earn it layer by fragile layer. Be reliable. Remember the small details. Show up exactly when you say you will. It's the consistency in those little, everyday moments that actually proves you are safe. And that brings us to their fierce independence, which is basically a shield forged from absolute necessity. A counselor once shared this incredible story about a single mom who managed everything perfectly. Her boyfriend offered to pick up groceries out of pity, and she just flat out refused for weeks. It wasn't until he said, "Let me do this for me, to feel useful to you," that she finally let him help. You have to reframe your help. Don't say, "Let me do it for you." Say, "We're a team, let me take this off our plate." It lets them put down their shield without feeling like a burden. Real game changer, right? Section 5. Hidden Struggles and Fierce Justice. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is that there are things happening inside their minds that they might literally never say out loud to you. We are looking at the powerful climax of their secret internal world. When they build a wall and shut you out, secretly, they are furious with themselves. Their mind is fighting an unseen war. They desperately want to let you in, but their survival instincts scream way louder than their desires. Furthermore, you'll probably notice their sense of justice is fiercely personal. When they stand up for the underdog, they are feeling the echoes of their own past powerlessness. They're rewriting their history by becoming the protector they once desperately needed. And let me tell you, understanding this unlocks a whole new level of deep empathy. Finally, Section 6. Honoring them and yourself. Loving a survivor is absolutely one of the most rewarding journeys you can take. You are witnessing the beauty that grows from the ashes. But as the gardener in this relationship, you've got limits. Don't put on the hero's cape while neglecting yourself. It is just so easy to lose yourself in trying to heal someone else. But a healthy relationship takes two to tango, and it requires two whole people. You have to ensure that your own well-being is not compromised. Yes, it requires patience and learning a whole new language of love, but you also need to recognize when you need your own space. You matter just as much in this dynamic. In return for learning this new language, you get a fiercely loyal partner who loves with a depth that really only comes from knowing what it's like to have nothing. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. What's one rule you've learned from loving someone with a resilient past? Reflect on it and use that wisdom to cultivate deeper trust in your own relationships. Thank you so